What's up, Dragon Brood? We are here with video 4 of 10 in our series of upgrading those arena free decks with a little bit of a budget twist, so that way they're cheap for you to build and you can play them all through the next year as you build up your collection, or maybe get more cards from the new set, or just want to play it through standard for a year. But either way, it gives you something to do with those free decks they gave you in arena. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Rakdos treasure hunt deck. That is the red-black deck focused on making lots of treasure tokens. This one had some very high highs, I think, for some good card choices, and some very low lows for some card choices. So let's get into it and see what this deck list is all about. As always, if you want to get some sweet stuff for your Magic collection, if you want to protect it, you want to save it, you want to carry it around with you, you want to shuffle it up, be sure to get stuff over at shop.ultrapro.com. And remember, if you don't want to buy anything through the site, if you take the name and the item number down, you can go to your local store, still support your local spot, and get something through them. And that's okay, because Ultra Pro is a big supporter of local game stores. Now, looking at this list, there's the one thing I will say is, of all the free decks, this was one of the ones that at least all had a cohesive theme. There weren't a ton of cards that were just thrown in there, which is really nice. And we're going to go through why we don't like some cards and why we're taking some out before we show the final list and what's in there, because I believe personally that it's even more important to explain to you why we don't value some cards as good, as much as we do say you need to play certain cards. So going down this list, Shambling Gas is probably one of the best one drops in black that we've had in a long time. So good that this is in here. Unwilling Ingredient is just kind of a weird card. It's a 1-mana 1/1, which is cool. It has Menace, which I guess is alright. It's a small creature, doesn't do much. But then you can exile it from your graveyard and you can draw a card and lose a life. Like, that's not that exciting. It's like you need it to die and then you got to spend extra mana. It's just, so we're probably cutting that. Deadly Dispute, great card. Nothing to complain about here. Probably should be 4 of those. Hired Hexblade is an interesting one, because it's not awful, right? It's a 2-mana 2/2. If it enters the battlefield, if mana from treasure was spent, you get to draw a card. We have a lot of things that make treasure, but I don't know if this is what we want to be spending our treasure on, especially since there's other quality commons and uncommons we can use. Thieves' Tools is also neat. It creates a treasure. When it comes into play, equipped creature can't be blocked with power 3 or less. However, our real goal to victory is going to be playing bigger creatures, so we're probably not going to use this anyway. Dragon's Fire, it's a common. We should just be up to 4 on this one. There's really not much reason to be playing 3. Sudden Breakthrough, I'm kind of on the fence on. It gives a creature first strike, which is nice. It's an instant. It's +2. That's also good. It does create a treasure token, which I like. Could allow you to do multiple things during a combat step. Just going to come down to if we have room in the final version more than anything else. Like Kalane, this is one of the best 2-mana things to come out in a while. Like, for as much as people say, you know, they thought the Forgotten Realms set was underpowered, there's so many good cards. I mean, even in this list, we're talking about like Shambling Ghast, Deadly Dispute, you know, Dragon's Fire, Kalane. Like, these are all out of that set, and these are commons and uncommons. So, just saying. But yeah, Kalane can ramp you up, let you get ahead, make your creatures bigger. Love it. Is legendary, so, you know, getting 2 in play is kind of a pain, but otherwise, good stuff. Skullport Merchant, which I actually said it right that time. Anyone follows my content knows for whatever reason I messed that name up. But yeah, this card makes treasure when it comes in, lets you sacrifice other things to draw a card. Like, this is just a good all-around card. And again, another one from Forgotten Realms. Soul Shatter is a rare, but we're kind of okay just rolling a Soul Shatter. I think this is totally okay. It's a quality removal card. I don't see a reason to take this out. Magic Missile. Now, this one is interesting because it's not great, being honest. I mean, it's a sorcery speed, 3-mana spell, but it can let you take out like 2 things, potentially dealing 1 here and 2 there. You can spend 3 to any target, so maybe if you just want to finish off the opponent. So this is what I'm going to spend some time thinking about to decide if we really want it or not. And then Zorn. Zorn lets us get double treasure tokens. I think if we end up in a version where we want something to have a lot of mana and we want to be sacrificing a lot of treasure tokens, then I think something like Zorn could be worthwhile. If we're just getting it as a convenience, then I'm not sure you want to play Zorn, because like, though it's cool to have the extra treasure, it doesn't really go that far. If you check my channel, I put up a video a couple days ago of a Gruul deck that really does use all that treasure. So it plays Zorn, because we're sacrificing some of the treasures to a Magda, we're pumping up dragons, we're doing all kinds of stuff with the treasure. So the more treasure we have, the better. Grim Bounty. This is 4 mana, sorcery, destroy a creature or planeswalker, create a treasure. It's cool that you get to kill something and create a treasure, but the fact that it's done at sorcery speed and it costs 4 mana, I'm kind of out on this. I think we can do better as far as removal goes. Hoarding Ogre. No. Just no. It's a 4 mana 3/3. It doesn't even do anything until it attacks. This is just not in there. This is almost like somebody saw the word treasure and just stuck it in the deck. Not good. Jaded Sellsword. This one's okay, but really, I mean, it gets first strike and haste until end of turn. It'd be cool if we got like a first strike counter or something for it, but otherwise you're paying 4 mana for a 4/3 on the ground, and you can just make some dragons and stuff for 4 mana, so I'm not really sure we want to be doing this. There is one Emissary Predator, which I think is one of the best 4 mana things you could be doing in Rakdos, so cool that this was included. Also a fan of Westgate Regent, because if this connects twice, it sometimes just ends the game. So really cool card and hard to kill. Goldspan Dragon. Obviously love this card. Fantastic. I think this deck should be playing 4 of these. Red Dragon, a lot less exciting because we'd rather just have a full set of Goldspan Dragons. And Orcus, Prince of Undeath. This is one of my favorite cards in the set. I think it's underplayed, underrepresented, and the effects of this card is very good. Lands, I don't think we're going to touch as much. 9 swaps, 10 mountains, a Blightstep Pathway, Sulfurous, Mire. But that's it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the upgraded version and see what we can do on a budget. Okay, so we did do one thing here, and we decided to add Eye Twitch. It's another uncommon. It's easy to cast. It's 1 black, but the biggest thing, it gives you versatility and gives you more spells. So we did have to add a sideboard, but you have access to 7 cards in best of 1, which is what you're playing this in if you're playing standard 2022. Now this does eat up one of our rares or mythic slots because we try to keep it under 9, but this is okay. This is good. A late game card, something to do with that extra treasure that's sitting around. You can get 3 creatures out of this. Otherwise, these are just a good versatile set of spells here that are all commons and uncommons. So nothing big there. Just kind of wanted to point that out. Went ahead and went up to a max number of Shambling Gas because, again, this card's just great. Went up to a max number of Deadly Disputes because this card's great. Flunk ended up being in here. Good removal. It's not exceptional, but it's really solid. It's instant speed. Later in the game, you can kill most things with it. And it only costs 2 mana. Dragon's Fire, we went up to a 4th because, again, we're playing dragons. We left the 3 Kalanes, went up to a full set of Skullport Merchant, left the 1 Soul Shatter, left the 2 Magic Missiles. We did add 1 Ebon Death, which I think Ebon Death was in another deck, so we got this one for free as part of our build. And by for free, I mean, it's already part of your package of the 10 decks, so it means we have 1 in your collection for sure. 2 Emissary Predator. We had to add a second one, because the card's just good. Kept the Westgate Regent. Went up to 4 Goldspan Dragons, so we definitely used 3 mythics here. So we used 4 rares, plus the 1 on the sideboard, so that's up to 5 rares or mythics included. The 1 Inferno of the Star Mounts, which I believe we got this one for free as well from another deck, so that doesn't count against us. And then we have the Orcus, Prince of Undeath. So the cool part is we only spent 5 rares or mythics to upgrade this deck, which is super awesome. I would say if you have the other rares or wild cards you want to spend, I would probably try to get the Blightstep Pathways, because I think those are going to be very good instead of playing the Sulfurous Mires. So I would spend there first. If you further have some other rares, I would find ways to put in more Emissary Predators as well. And maybe even swap a few things, if you do that, to play the Eye Twitches so you have other things to sacrifice to the Predator. Probably cutting the Ebon Death, because it's going to be less useful. Possibly even cut like 1 Skullport. See, I told you I was going to mess it up. Skullport Merchant. So yeah, if you make those changes, I think the deck could be very good, and you'll still be under 9 rares. So there you go. As always, please remember to check all the links, all the stuff down below. Let me know how you feel about this update in the comments. And remember to always be awesome. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.